It is Money Monday. Of course, that's a segment where we talk about easy to understand ways to navigate all things finances. And here to help us, as usual, is financial expert Paul Hood from Hood CPAs. Hi, Paul. First,
Hey.
I'm glad you're happy Labor Day. Glad you're here with us.
Yeah, me too. You too.
Let's talk about debt. So Julia says, what's the most reliable way to pay off debt so you can improve your credit? That's a question a lot of people have.
There's all kinds of different methodologies that people can buy into and use different strategies. The key is find one that works for you. The one that generally works the best that I've found is you make a list of all your debts, especially credit cards, with the lowest balance, highest interest rate, all the way down to the highest balance. And then you start paying, you take minimum payments and pay on all the credit cards except for that top one. You pay as much as you can on that, be consistent. As it gets paid off, you have a win. You have small victories. And then you take what you were paying on that one and add it to the next one. And you didn't get into this situation. People don't get into debt overnight, so it's not going to be solved overnight. And success is really the people that achieve success are people that can be consistent and just mundane and just over and over and over and over and do it. So it just takes time, takes consistency, but you got to stick to it.
Thank you. Amanda says, I've noticed more and more websites that offer payment plans for purchases. Is it a good idea to take advantage of those if you're making a big purchase?
So the big deal is if you can't afford to pay cash for it, you really should consider not buying it. Because oftentimes those decisions where people spend money are really more luxury type items. So buy something a little cheaper or just don't buy it at all if you don't need it. Be real sure that you need it, because there's a difference between need and want. So the only time that you should do those places that have the small payments is one, if they have zero interest, and if you can pay it off before the interest kicks in. Because usually they'll say you have zero interest for 12 months, and then the interest is 18 or 20% in the 13th month. So be very, very consistent on whether you actually need it. But if you do the small payments, try to make sure you can get it paid off before the interest rate kicks in.
That's when they get you, is there at the end. So Jared says, I'm having a hard time cutting unnecessary spending and starting a solid savings account. Where do I start? More importantly, how do I stay motivated?
So I would recommend, Daryl, read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a little thin book, but it's a story-based book. And the key is regardless of what you pay on debt, start saving now. And sometimes you have to trick yourself. Ultimately, success and changing habits requires at least 21 days to do something. That's what most experts say, is you got to figure out something how you can go at least 21 days, and then you can create a new habit, because your habits create the lifestyle. So, there is no secret to it. It's just being consistent and having a budget, controlling where your money's going. You may have to go to a cash standard. Quit charging on your credit cards is one of the main things.
All right, and that, of course, the motivation is you'll feel so much better in the end, of course. So
that's exactly right.
If you have a
small victories
we'll take, because that is big success. So if you have a financial question that you would like to ask Paul next week, just send them to us at moneymonday@griffin.news.